This video is on section 1.5. It goes along with your My Math Lab assignment number 7. It's on increasing, decreasing, and constant functions. First, I just want to show you an example actually from your book of what we mean. We read these graphs from left to right. If you look at this parabola, this function is increasing and then decreasing. Now you're going to find that every time we talk about increasing or decreasing intervals, we're talking about intervals of x. Do not think y. Intervals of x. So if you'll think about this, this is where the graph stopped increasing, and that was at -1 for x. Then it decreased. So we say it increases from -infinity to -1 and decrease from -1 to infinity. Now remember, these are all x intervals. You've got to remember that. This graph is constant. It never changes. It's steady. So it's constant from negative to positive infinity. Okay, left to right. First, this function is decreasing. Now remember, decreasing to what x? Well, that x is 2. And then it's increasing. Increasing where? From 2 to infinity. And all of these endings will be parentheses. These are not ordered pairs. They're intervals. Now let's look at a couple of examples here. Problem number 1. First of all, you notice that my graph is decreasing, then constant, then increasing, and then decreasing. What I'm concerned about is that it decreases to here. But what x value is that? Well, that's -1. It's constant to here. What x value? Well, that's 3. It increases to what x value? Well, that's 5. And then it decreases. You hear me say x value. Now let's write these out in interval notation. First, the interval decreases. This is increase, decrease, and constant. So first I'm decreasing. We always start at the left. That's -infinity. And it decreased to what x? Well, that was -1. Then it was constant. From what x? -1 to 3. Then the graph increased. And it increased from x of 3 to x of 5. Lastly, the graph decreased, and it decreased from 5x to positive infinity. Now remember, we're not talking about the graph going down. We're telling you it's decreasing, but it's decreasing on x that's going to positive infinity. You're reading from -infinity to positive infinity every time. Okay, problem number 2. This graph increases, decreases, increases, decreases. Now what you've got to notice is what x is. It increases to this x, which is -1. Then it decreased to what x? Well, that x is 0. It increases to this x, which is 1. So let's write that down. First we increase. Now we increase, remember we're starting here, going to here. So we increase from -infinity to what x? That was -1. Then we decrease. We decrease from -1 to 0. Then we increase. Remember again, all x's from 0 to 1. And then we decrease from 1 to infinity. We have no constant intervals. In number 3, we first increase, decrease, constant, increase. But now remember, we're going from -infinity to positive infinity. You only pick out x values. Remember x. We increase from -infinity to this point, which has an x of -3. Then we decrease. We decrease from -3x to -2x. We remain constant from -2 to to positive 2. And last, we increase again from 2 to positive infinity. If you can remember interval notation, always use parentheses and use x, x, x.